So here we are, full season. I'm looking at a little perennial, little gravel bed. Fall is still one of the best times to be out in your yard. The temperature's cooler, the ground is a little drier, and I take an opportunity now to look for any perennial weeds or any plants that seem to be taking over. And there's no harm in just removing those perennial weeds right now. So what I'm going to do now, I've spotted this donkey spurge, donkey's tail, right here. And the fork is good because you don't cut anything, you just loosen the soil. If I loosen the soil a bit, the plant comes up right in one go. There we go. I don't want to pull up the sedum that's next to it, so I'm going to grab it carefully and try and keep the sedum back in place. Look at that. Perfect. Look at that. Be careful with you. This is a euphorbia. They have white sap that you might find very irritating. So there's the sedum. The plant was growing amongst it and we were able to pull it right out without damaging it. So I'm happy with that. So in this bed we've got a whole range of onions that have already flowered, except this chap. This is one of our last perennials to flower. It's a little dwarf onion. This one has white flowers. We do have Ozawa, which has the purple flowers as well. But we're right into October now and we've got flowers coming out. I've got a little weeding problem here I've seen. We've got some kind of a spreading little weeds here that I'm going to loosen up. The fork is good. The gravel makes it very easy to weed. All right, I've loosened it up a bit. Let's see if we can get all this to come up. Yeah, that seems to have come up pretty easily. There we go. So here we are, we have one of these tiny new nepetas, still flowering, fantastic. I'm very impressed with that. Hot, dry, sunny conditions, deer resistant, the little dwarf nepetas, catmints, fantastic. So choose a nice day, enjoy it, get some knee pads on and you can work through your perennial gardens very, very quickly. With the right tools, you can open it up and let your plants breathe a little easier. Well, everybody loves free stuff and nature provides free mulch in the fall. I'll show you how to produce it. So I'm going to start my lawnmower on a mulch setting. I have the leaves on my lawn, which is typical. I'm going to mulch them in. So there we go. That's the first part done. We've cut the grass, we've chopped it, we've mulched it, we've chopped the leaves, any twigs, and they're in smaller pieces on the lawn. Now I'm going to go to bagging mode. All right, part 2 starts. So that's only a little kind of small test example. Let's see what we're producing inside though. So a mixture of leaves, grass, twigs all chopped up, and this will make a great mulch for perennials or under shrubs. It will stifle the weeds and break down and add to the soil. By adding a little bit of leaf and twig to it, you create the ideal kind of composting mix. So putting that around your plants, adding a little bit of water, a bit of sun, a bit of temperature, it will break down and add quality nutrients to your plants and suppress the weeds. Well, for this tip, we actually were busy in spring marking our daffodils. I had noticed over the years that some of our daffodils got so crowded, we're doing so well. When they get too crowded, they don't flower as well. So in spring, while you can see where the plant is in flower, I put a stake down and a little tag that says daffodil pure white. Because the problem being is when you want to move them in the fall, you don't know where they are, because this is all what remains. If you look down there, that's all what remains. That's the dead daffodil leaves. So right in here, I put that stake in the middle, are all the daffodil bulbs. And again, I'm going to use a fork. If you use a shovel, you could cut through some of the bulbs, which you're going to do anyway with the fork, but not nearly as many. So let's just explore this. I'm going to sneak in there. Oh, there's a rock, of course. We are in Pennsylvania. Oh, there's one bulb coming up already. It's like digging potatoes. Just going to loosen up a bit. Oh, they must be really very... Oh, there we go. Look at that. And there's a root right next to it, so I'm going to go carefully underneath. So look how close those bulbs are. See how they're struggling? So I'm going to leave those out. Let's see if we've got any more. And they seem to have come back a little taller, a little out of the ground, shall I say. So quite a lot of bulbs still remaining in there, but I'm not going to take them all up. I've got more than enough. Just a few more there. So what I'm going to do is now is just break them apart carefully. They have got their roots out, and just count. Goodness knows how many I can get out of this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I haven't even got the big clump. There's probably 100 bulbs here. I'm going to leave the small ones in place so they can grow. See how tight it was. You can see why that was like shutting them down. Just look at that. There's hardly room to breathe. So I'm going to carefully pull them apart. So that's a wonderful thing about daffodils. The deer don't eat them. They grow and spread beautifully. The rule of thumb says that the diameter of a bulb, say that's an inch, you plant it 3 inches. If it's a 2-inch bulb, then they go 6 inches down, 3 to 1. So I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm going to put these back in place and put the roots down, which is good planting advice. Here it's very clear. Some bulbs it's difficult to know when it doesn't have roots on it, where is up and what is down. But that will give them some space. And I'm going to cover them with 4 to 5 inches of soil that I dug up. So there you go. I put the stake in spring to mark where bulbs were too crowded. It's also a good idea in spring where you want to have the bulbs to put a stake in, so when you plant in the fall you know where to plant them, because as you can see all these other plants take over, but in spring these grasses aren't visible. So stakes for where you want to dig up and stakes for where you want to plant, and you can't go wrong. So there you go, some great tips to help improve your gardening skills, and you've probably got some there at home. And we'll love to hear from you, so why don't you email them to us and we'll love to read them. So, till next time, see you soon.